Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about Qimens. Qimens is a category of tea that has become a wee bit of a focus for me recently. So, Qimens are actually from Huang Shan. The Qimen area, Qimen, for those who don't know the pronunciation, Qimen, typical black tea, is from Huang Shan. And interestingly enough, Qimen is fairly new. Around the time the Opium Wars, Qimen was creating green tea. But the domestic market wasn't too great. Meanwhile, the export market was booming. So Qimen said, okay, let's start making teas for export. And so they started making black tea. And the rest is history. So I started looking for Qimens and tasting Qimens when I moved to Huang Shan in 2017. So I'm tasting these teas and I'm trying to get into Qimens, and I'm finding them very repetitive. Very basic. It actually took me a while to get into Qimens because I just felt like I was drinking the same thing over and over and over again. And there was not anything particularly good. Then, in about 2018, so years ago, I came across a Qimen that changed everything. This is famously known as Savory Qimen. It was a Qimen with such a rich, savory body, so just different from any of the other kind of bland, flatter, basic black teas that I've been tasting before. This really had characteristics that set it apart. And so what this basically did is this basically taught me that, okay, Qimens are a thing. There is a thing to Qimens. There is a quality, there are flavors, there are things you can really get in a Qimen. And so this gave me a lot more energy, and I focused a lot more on Qimens. And as I drank Qimens, I began to appreciate things about Qimens that I think are pretty unique. I like to call Qimens the green teas of black teas, where yes, they have characteristics of both. They have characteristics of green teas, but at the same time, characteristics of black teas. And in Qimens, it comes together in a very cool way. So, characteristics of black teas: smooth, sweet, sturdy, can stand up to heat. Characteristics of green teas: subtle, complex, aromas, tinier notes. In my opinion, black teas tend to have, you look at the Dian Hong, a lot of more bigger flavors, and they're great for that. Qimens, though, have a lot of little complexities. And so I realized that, and then once I started brewing more Qimens, something else, and this really got me excited for Qimens, was I realized that Qimens, because they're black teas, but this mix of in sturdiness but complexities made Qimens a lot of fun to brew. One of the first things I realized that, and I don't know if you saw it, but I just did it here, you can really fuck up a Qimen. And if you've been on the Discord and you've paid attention to me recently, you'll see me say this: fuck up your Qimens, which means add too much leaf, boiling water, really overbrew, oversteep it, really push it to its max. Because Qimens, the complexities of the green teas are really going to change. They're really going to come out, but at the same time, that sturdiness and that sturdiness coming from the black tea is going to stop the Qimen from overbrewing. It's really hard. If you have a good Qimen, it shouldn't overbrew. So as you brew this hard, it won't overbrew, but you're going to see a lot of cool flavors. You're going to see a lot of complexities. So definitely, for anyone watching this, when you brew Qimens, especially if you brew my Qimens, fuck them up. Fuck up your Qimens. Overbrew them, overpack them, just fuck up your Qimens. And you're really going to get some really cool teas. The other thing I realized about Qimens, this is a tricky thing, and kind of in that same line, is that Qimens, they're easily influenced by brewing parameters, where changes in temperature, time, leaf will give you completely different teas. And this can be kind of annoying sometimes, because you brew a Qimen once and you're like, wow, this is an amazing tea. And then you brew it again and you're like, it's not so good. Or it's average, you know. And you're like, is it me? Is it the tea? And I think sometimes it is the tea. Yeah, it's good. So I have the Savory Qimen, and since then so that really got me into Qimens, and it got me looking at Qimens and really looking for that higher end Qimen. And I definitely came across a lot of Qimens and a lot of different flavors and characteristics, but generally Qimens you didn't really get too many outliers per se. And so, you know, not a lot of, it's rare that I really find a Qimen that knocked my socks off. And this is, but at the same time, I really was enjoying Qimens and just drinking Qimens. And I was enjoying that like warm complexity that Qimens have. And so this is where I got the idea of the expansion pack. So the expansion pack is 3 Qimens, 10 grams each, and it just shows you a little more about it. It just helps you drink more Qimens and taste more Qimens, and you can really see that dark, that sturdy complexity that Qimens have, and you can really learn to appreciate Qimens. This Qimen is very interesting, strong flavors. Once again, highly recommended boiling water. This Qimen, highly recommended. Recommended because it's just really interesting, really, and I'm drinking it now, and I'm just fascinated by it. You know, as someone who has drank a ton of Qimens, because Qimens do tend to be a good Qimen, and a lot of the Qimens I sell tend to be a little more aromatic, a little more floral, especially it's kind of a trend right now. This tea, especially when you push it to boiling water and some higher leaf temperatures, leaf ratios, stronger flavors, woodsy-ish, almost like lox sort of texture to it, that kind of smoky-ish flavor, and that soft body of lox. It's a really interesting tea. And as I go on look into Qimen, the last thing I have to touch on with Qimens is Qimen Gongfu. So Qimen Gongfu is one of the more, not the original Qimen, but an earlier stage of Qimen where they took the Qimen and they cut it up and they broke it up because this fit in the box nicer. When you shipped it out, you know, more could fit in a small space. And this is a tea that these days is not as fashionable. People want whole leaves, people want softer flavors. So these days is often lower quality and kind of more of daily drinkers. But when you get the real Gongfu, the quality made, it is amazing. It is amazing. So that is something I need to look out for. So that's it. That's my reflections on Qimens. Yeah, this Qimen's really interesting. Very excited about it. Subscribe. Check out the website. Check out the Instagram. Send me messages. You know, tea stuff. Thank you.